Hello everyone, my name is Jonathan, also known as the Medieval Genie. Today I'll answer another viewer's wish. Unlike the last video about good versus bad Gambesons, I'll be talking about comparing historical Gambesons versus modern HEMA jackets and how they differ. I would advise also watching that video to learn about some key features that decent padded armour would have. Now I should first say that both have better and worse versions, so neither is necessarily superior. They have their purpose and their place. Bear in mind that historical versions were used for sparring, tournaments, self-defense or warfare, whereas HEMA jackets are intended just for sparring and tournaments. To muddy the waters though, HEMA jackets also have historically inspired designs, so you can expect many styles which cross over as a degree of both. It is worth mentioning that historical Gambesons were mostly used as base layers under armour such as mail, lamella, brigandine or a plate harness. HEMA jackets on the other hand can be worn with armour, but are nearly always worn alone. Both types have thicker and thinner versions to gauge mobility against protection, but I notice HEMA jackets tend to be thicker and tougher. Both sorts are meant to allow plenty of movement regardless though. Besides that, a lot of common HEMA jackets tend to have fittings like zips and velcro to allow easy equipping and removing of the garment and its attachments, whereas historical designs had features like buttons and laces instead. This may sound minor, but overlapping folds and tighter sealing allow for fewer weapons to enter gaps in the armour. This can be safer, except that they have still been known to be punctured in matches, so it is safer to have fastens on the side or rear of the gambeson while making it potentially require someone's assistance to wear such gear. With regards to materials, historically local wool and linen would have been dominant materials for Gambesons, whereas modern jackets are nearly always made from some sort of cotton or polycotton. HEMA jackets also tend to have Newton ratings for puncture resistance, whereas it is unknown precisely what standards, if any, would have applied to historical padded armour, so I won't speculate. Although I mention standards and ratings for HEMA jackets, there are other versions made by practitioners using their own designs instead of purchasing known brands. I'd wager that this also applies to historical Gambesons as well, where there may have been recommended tailors and armourers to get a known quality of item, where others may have felt they could do a better job or simply could not afford such things. Overall, I would say that although there is a general contrast between Gambesons and HEMA jackets, there are even greater differences seen in individual examples of the garments, so it is always worth bearing in mind that such things are far from homogeneous, even with brands for modern jackets like Spez and Red Dragon. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe and you can see more similar stuff, and better.